What do you got for me?
Dave, Stephanie from Joliet asks, what grounds can I use if my spouse verbally abuses me, but he remains faithful? Have you ever been verbally abused, Dave?
On a daily basis in my line of work, unfortunately. But you have to fend it off and kind of handle it. Try and diffuse the situation. People are struggling out there, especially in my type of work. The people that I talk to, Jesse, they're hurting. They're hurting financially, they're hurting emotionally. They're going through a lot of trouble, and sometimes they vent.
So I come to you, and that's what Stephanie's asking. Hey, listen, he's faithful, hasn't done anything else. He just talks to me like the Dickens, like the devil. Just continues to just ride me and put me down, and doesn't appreciate the things that I do.
Well, the bad news for her is she's going through this. The good news is she can get out of it. And the grounds in Illinois that provide that are mental cruelty. If he's belittling her, if he's telling her he doesn't love her, if he's making her feel worthless, and she's not doing anything to provoke this, he's just coming out and causing her all kinds of hell.
You mean you have to tell your spouse that you love them? That would be mentally abusing them? I gotta
No.
kind of think about that.
No, but if you tell him, I don't love you, I
Oh,
don't care about
okay.
you, you're nothing, you mean nothing, you're worthless, you'll never be anything, you'll never find anybody else, you can't walk on your own 2 feet, that's mental cruelty. And if it's repetitive and it's unprovoked, that's one of the grounds that somebody can use.
Unprovoked. So there's a possibility that we could just be telling one side of the story, and we're getting this because I'm telling you similar kinds of things.
That's right. If you have 2 people that are mentally abusing one another,
It's
you don't
still-
have the right to use those grounds. But then you have irreconcilable differences.
Right.
We just can't agree. We can't agree to stop mentally abusing one another. So there are other grounds, and we should talk about those. There's adultery. Everyone's familiar with that. There's mental cruelty, physical cruelty, habitual drunkenness, desertion, when one party has left the whereabouts for more than a year without any cause or provocation on their part. And then, of course, irreconcilable differences. And I'm going to let you espouse on that subject.
Sure, irreconcilable differences just simply means that you can no longer get along. So in Illinois, you have to allege grounds, one of those grounds, for the basis for your dissolution of marriage.
He won't put the seat
Differences. Well, yeah, it could be, but irreconcilable differences is just that you can't get along. So it's it's what they call the no fault. The caveat with that is you have to be living separate and apart for a continuous period of time in excess of 2 years. However, most of that can be waived, all except for 6 months. But living separate and apart doesn't necessarily physically living separate and apart. A lot of times people will move to a guest bedroom and they'll move there for a long time. Sometimes they'll even vacate the marital residence. That's easy enough.
It's usually the basement.
Well, usually the basement, or even sometimes they'll continue to sleep in the same bed, but they'll no longer be intimate. They'll be more like roommates, and so
They'll be hanging off the edges.
hanging off the edges, and so that kind of goes toward the time. And as I said, if you don't have, you need at least 6 months that has occurred, and then you could waive the rest of it.
Yeah. I've seen cases where one client works days, the other spouse works nights.
Yeah,
They don't even pass like ships in the night because they don't even see each other.
and it works out well for them.
It works out well, but they still don't want to be together.
Yeah.
They still want to end it.
Kind of
And move on to something that may be a little bit more rewarding.
right.
Marriage is not for everybody, Jesse, and if it's not working out and you try to fix it, the court provides irreconcilable differences for those who really just can't point a finger at the other for doing anything wrong. It just didn't work out. We can't get along.
That's exactly right. And so, once you've realized what it is, it's time to move on.
Okay.